This policy was introduced in 1979 as China's population approached 1 billion in the late 70s. The government was concerned about how it would affect the country's ambitious economic growth plans. Since ancient times, male offspring have been favored in China. This is true both in ancient and modern times. Parents expected their sons to be able to support them, as well as bring a wife into the home and procreate. If you had more than one child, you could lose your job and get hit with a fine. From $370 to $1,000. That's a lot of money for many Chinese people. This led to a huge increase in abortions among Chinese women, especially if the child was female. Many of these children were given to orphanages or even sold. Later on, the government put a ban on doctors telling people the gender of a baby. This is still in place today, but it's often broken for a small bribe. The cleverer Chinese folks from the villages didn't register all the subsequent kids, who then couldn't go to school because, according to the documents, they didn't exist. Others paid the fine by taking out a huge loan. Some people forged documents saying they weren't actually Chinese but representatives of national minorities in China and were exempt from paying fines. The parents' crazy desire to have a son also led to child trafficking and frequent abductions. In 2015, this policy was officially abolished, but it was too late. In today's China, this short-sighted policy has led to a terrible imbalance in the female and male population. The 2000 census revealed that for every 100 girls, there were 117 boys, and in rural areas, even 130.
And again, the consequences are pretty horrific: sexual slavery and human trafficking, violence, and forced sterilization. In some cases, desperate men from distant Chinese villages kidnapped women or bought them from poor people and used them as incubators for having children and working in the fields. In the modern tech age, we've seen agencies emerge that facilitate the purchase of brides from countries like Vietnam or Cambodia for as little as $800 to $1,000. If the first woman runs away or doesn't fit some of their requirements, they'll provide a new one. Needless to say, these services are only used by men who have absolutely no chance of finding a woman. And let's face it, that's pretty sad.
For wealthy Chinese, there are agencies that introduce men to such desirable Slavic women, especially from neighboring Russia. The Russian population is poor, and women there are eager to have material security and are ready to learn about exotic Chinese culture.
However, men's overly traditional views of the family and the role of women push women away. At a time when women can provide for themselves, Chinese women refuse to get married and simply enjoy life. The Chinese government is concerned again, but not about population growth, but about population decline and the rapid aging of the nation. I wonder what creative policy solutions they will come up with to overcome this new problem.